Greetings, my name is Michael Cook. I'm an application developer, design artist, and system engineer. In this particular video, I'm going to be covering professional communication. Switch over to the scene here and talk about this professional communication. In this video, I'm piecing together multiple phone calls that I made on December 22nd, 2023 to both the New York State Police as well as the Saratoga County Sheriffs Office in reference to an incident that occurred earlier this morning at about 1:55 a.m. 1736 Route 9, Clifton Park, New York. I was crossing the road where there was in a crosswalk. Two police officers see me, slow down, and stop to have a conversation with me. One of them was New York State Trooper Cameron Macinas. The other was Saratoga County Sheriff's Officer Kay Rossi. Still don't know his first name. I've had multiple incidents with both of these officers, and when I say incident, that doesn't mean arrested or anything like that. Sometimes I'll see one of these guys and they may do the stink eye where they're just glaring at me as they're driving by, and then they park their cruiser next to the station and leave it unattended for about 25 to 30 minutes, running, idle, like Cameron Macinas did in this video.
Michael Cook, right here. It is March 15th, 2023.
Or maybe it was March 15th, 2023. Anyway, here's a class that I put together that organizes the videos that I made that I'm about to feature. Number 1, number 2, and number 3. These are the phone calls that I had with the police.
State Police, Tremblay.
Hi, yes, my name is Michael Cook. I'm looking to speak with either Sergeant Russell or another desk sergeant. I had an incident last night involving Trooper Macinas. And,
Trooper Macinas.
Yep.
Okay. I can give you Sergeant Russell, is actually a Clifton Park sergeant. This is the Wilton Barracks. I know that he is not working right now. I can give you one of the Wilton sergeants if you'd like to speak to her. Or I can just give you the Clifton Park station number and you can try their sergeants down there.
Sure.
Okay, hold on. Which one would you like? Talk to my sergeant, or you want to talk to get the Clifton Park one?
What do you think is more appropriate? Probably talking to Clifton Park, right?
I don't even know if there's any Clifton Park sergeants working. So what I'll do is I'll forward you back to my sergeant down the hall, and then she can decide on if she'll
Okay, that sounds like a plan.
pass you on or listen. So hold on, okay, sir?
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Hold on.
State Police Wilton, Sergeant Hall.
Hi, my name is Michael Cook, and I'm calling in reference to an incident that I had last night in Clifton Park with Trooper Macinas. And
Okay.
I called in last night and spoke to somebody at the main number, and then Sergeant Russell called me at about like an hour and a half later, but I didn't have service, so I'm just getting to where I have a service and I can lodge a complaint against Trooper Macinas.
Okay, so unfortunately for that, I'm going to have you call back at 7 p.m. because...
To talk to Sergeant Russell?
Disregard that. I've actually got Sergeant Teets who's in. Let me give you the number for the station to speak with his direct supervisor.
Okay.
I am a sergeant, but I'm a sergeant of a completely different station, so because he's got the station supervisor working, I'm going to give you the number to call down there direct whenever you're ready.
Sure.
So it's going to be 518...
Yep.
383
Yep.
5124.
Okay.
And you're going to ask for Sergeant Teets. It's Tietz. And if he's not physically at the station because he's out at a call or at lunch or something, just give a call back in like an hour or so, and you should be able to catch him, or one of his troopers will be able to tell you when he can call you back.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Thank you.
All right, no worries. Yep, have a good day.
You as well.
Hi, yes, I'm looking to speak with Sergeant Teets.
He is not at
office, okay?
Sure.
Sir, are you still there?
Yes.
So he is not in the office right now. Can I take a message to have him call you, or do you want to try back later?
I can call back. I spoke with I can't remember her name, the sergeant up in the Wilton station. She said that if he's not there, to try to call back in like an hour or so. So I'll do that.
Okay.
All right.
If not, I can always just take your name and number, and then I can have him give you a call when he's free. It's up to you.
Sure. My name is Michael Cook. I'm calling to lodge a complaint against Trooper Macinas last night. I called in after an incident involving him and a deputy from the Saratoga County Sheriff's Office, kind of like harassing me on Route 9. And I spoke. I also have to call the sheriffs and reach back out to them. But yeah, the desk sergeant. Oh, what's his name? Hang on a second. Sergeant Russell called me at like 3:48, and I didn't have service at that time, so I wasn't able to speak with him. So I called back, and then they told me to contact Sergeant Teets and then talk with him.
Okay. Is there a phone number for him to call you back at?
Yep, 518-406-8569.
Okay. I will pass the message along.
All right, thank you very much. And your name's Trooper DeRusso, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Take care.
You have reached the Saratoga County Sheriff's Office. If this is...
Please hold on while I try that extension.
Sheriff's Office Communications.
Hi, yes, my name is Michael Cook, and I'm calling in reference to an incident that I had last night with Trooper Macinas and Deputy Rossi. I called earlier this morning at about 2 a.m. and spoke with somebody, and they recommended that I call later on once I had service and I could speak with somebody about filing a complaint.
Filing a complaint for what?
Well, Deputy Rossi and Trooper Macinas were harassing me last night, and this isn't the first time that I've had an incident with Deputy Rossi, so I wanted to talk with somebody about it.
Okay, hang on 1 second, okay?
Sure.
Hello, Todd. Can I help you?
Hi, yes. I'm sorry, I didn't get your name.
Yeah, my name is Haas. Haas. I'm a supervisor in the communications division. Nothing to do with road patrol, but all of the complaints start with me, and then I can kind of move toward who they should go to.
Okay.
So what's happening?
Hi. Well, my name is Michael Cook.
Michael Cook?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I've had a number of incidents with some of your deputies. I've spoken with Captain/Under-Sheriff Jeffrey Brown about it in the past. The reason for my call today is to talk about an incident that occurred last night between myself and Deputy Rossi. I believe it was Deputy Rossi. I'm pretty sure it was him. I was walking along Route 9 last night and crossing the road. I had plenty of time to cross, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Clifton Park area at all.
A little bit. I'm looking for the call right now.
I don't think there was a call.
Okay.
It was just a field-initiated incident. I don't think it was logged or anything like that.
Okay.
So that's why I called in at about 2:02 a.m. and then spoke with somebody there and then. But anyway, so I crossed the road last night. It's a 4-lane road where I crossed, where the Stewart's is near the Shenandoah district office. Are you familiar with that area?
A little bit. Yep. Okay.
So in the middle of the road, there's a median with yellow line where traffic can turn left into a parking lot or turn right into whatever. I crossed the road, had plenty of time. Trooper Messinas was coming from the Burger King side toward heading north on Route 9, and Deputy Rossi was heading south on Route 9 in the opposite direction. And
Okay.
so I was in the median, and Deputy Rossi was speeding, and then he noticed me crossing the road, and then he decided to stop. And I was confused, and both of these officers slowed down, and Cameron Messinas was in the median with his window down, sort of in my face. I just contacted the troopers about that, but I'm also contacting you about Deputy Rossi. And both of these guys were like, "You can't be in the road, you can't be crossing the road." I'm like, "Okay, well, it's legal to cross the road." They're like, "Well, you got to use a crosswalk to cross across the street." And I said, "Well, the nearest crosswalk is about, a quarter mile, half a mile that way. I'm not going to walk all the way back there and then cross the crosswalk, just because you want to give me a hard time." I've had multiple incidents with Deputy Rossi. The first being at Market 32 in Clifton Park, Shoppers World.
I'm sorry. Michael, I don't mean to cut you off. What's your phone number?
518-406-8569. 8569. Yes, sir.
Do you recall about what time this was last night?
Minutes before 2:02 a.m. So probably about 1:55.
Okay. What
Yeah.
I'm going to do is, so this type of complaint, because you weren't arrested or ticketed,
Yeah.
this type of complaint would need to go to his direct supervisor.
Sure.
I'm not, hold on one second.
Sure.
All right, so obviously not working now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this over to the supervisor working the midnight shift tonight. Let me get that name for you, though. Hold on one second.
Sure.
So the problem is it's Sergeant Kine tonight who works the 4 p.m. to midnight shift. So you may have to wait for Sergeant Yeto, which would be tomorrow night, midnight to 8. So, well, really 11 to 7. So it'd be Christmas Eve, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. Christmas Eve morning, okay?
Yes.
But if that's okay, I will get this over to him to have somebody give you a call back.
Sure. Could you give me?
You're familiar with it. Go ahead.
Could you give me their names again? Just both of them, so
Yeah,
I have it on file.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to send this over actually to Deputy Yeto. That's Yetto. I'm sorry, and he's not a deputy, he's a supervisor. He's a sergeant. Sorry.
Okay.
So I'll send this to Sergeant Yeto, and he can follow up with the issue, and you can explain to him exactly what transpired.
Okay. And
Okay.
yeah, I guess it kind of concludes what we had to talk about. But yeah, thank you for the information, and you've been very helpful, and I appreciate your time.
Absolutely, no problem, Michael. Good luck. Okay.
You as well. Take care.
All right. Yep.
Hello.
Hello, is this Michael?
This is he.
Michael, this is Sergeant Teets with the State Police in Clifton Park. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Well, what's going on? You wanted to speak to a supervisor?
Yes.
What's going on?
So last night I had an incident involving Cameron Messinas and Deputy Kate Rossi. I've already contacted the sheriffs and going forward on that end. But I wanted to talk with you about the incidents that I've had with Cameron Messinas.
Okay. What's going on with that?
So last night, I'm just going to talk about last night, and if you want other details, I'll provide them. But last night, I was walking down Route 9 near where the Stewart's is in Clifton Park. Do you know where I'm talking about?
Which Stewart's? There's a
one that's closer to Burger King.
North of Route 146?
Yes.
Okay, that's Stewart's. All right, north of 146.
So I was crossing the road right before then, right after the Chelsea Place, the street there that goes to the district office to Shenandoah.
Shenandoah, yep.
And I had plenty of time to cross the street. It's a 4-lane highway. There's a median. I normally cross the street, and if there's traffic on both sides of the road, I'll wait. But if there's traffic on one side of the road, I'll cross and wait in the middle, and then proceed to cross over.
Do you know about what time this was?
A few minutes before 2:02 a.m., so probably about 1:55.
Okay.
And so I didn't realize that it was a police officer in either car. They didn't activate their lights or anything like that up until they were stopped. To be perfectly honest, I don't recall whether they had their lights on or not. I don't think they did. But yeah, as far as I know, it's legal to cross the road. But they were harassing me. They were like, "You gotta use the crosswalk to cross the road, dude." I'm like, yeah, right. Is it illegal to cross the road?
You should cross the road at a crosswalk. Pedestrian crosswalks are what, that's what they're used for.
Right, but I wasn't within a vicinity of a crosswalk, though.
If you get struck by a car and you're not walking in a crosswalk, you could be found at fault.
Okay. But I mean, let's be realistic here. There's plenty of road here where someone walking around on foot's not going to have access to a crosswalk to cross the road.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I was about right in the vicinity of the Stewarts there, and I'm pretty careful about when I cross the road. I've been walking around for years. The last couple of years, I've been walking quite a lot. The only time I've been struck by a car was about 2.5 months ago, and I think Cameron Macinas was the first one on scene on October 9th, 2023 at 599 Clifton Park Center Road.
Okay.
And as soon as he arrived, I'm pretty sure it was him, he took off, and then other units showed up, and the car hit me and then ran. It broke the mirror off, and it took off, and I had screamed and yelled for help for the guy that lives at 599 Clifton Park Center Road, and he came outside. He called the police, and the ambulance showed up. The police showed up. I'm pretty sure Cameron Macinas was the first one on scene, and as soon as he recognized that it was me, he just took right off. So.
Well, I believe that the deputies handled that accident, correct?
Yeah, they did. But what I'm saying is, he was there first, so it should have been your call.
How do you're positive of that?
None of the videos on YouTube go to convey a sense of incompetence in the government. There's plenty of videos that. Help me! 911! Help! Some guy just fucking hit me and ran. What? Some guy just hit me with his car and ran. Hit you with a car? Yeah. My arm's broken. All right? No, my arm's broken. All right. Go to the street. them? Yeah, that's it.
Just gonna run inside quick and put shoes on. Is that cool?
I'm absolutely certain that he was in that car because the car showed up. He was the first one on scene, and as soon as he recognized me, he took off.
Okay.
I don't want to say I'm absolutely certain of it because I couldn't see his face, but I recognized Cameron Macinas a number of times. I've had plenty of interactions with him, and not all of them good.
Okay.
He's been a deputy. He's also been a trooper, and I've had interactions with him numerous times as both. Cameron Macinas. We're gonna have another conversation pretty soon, bud. You committed an unlawful arrest. Told you about the audio recording, and then you went ahead and arrested me. It's on the body camera footage. I'm aware of it. Say hello to your dad for me. Cameron Macinas has a little penis. Right? So like if I go to McDonald's and I get a fucking like a double cheeseburger or something, right? How do I know that I'm getting an actual double cheeseburger and not just like, a double cheeseburger that got thrown out and then it got pulled out of the garbage and then they cooked it a little bit longer to get rid of all the germs and then they threw it in the garbage again and they're like, you know what, we're gonna pull it back out of the garbage again and then we'll step on it and then spit in it and then put it on the grill again and then after we do all that, then we'll put the cheese on it and then give it to the customer. It's basically what I just said is a metaphor for what they do, the police. It's not a consistent case, by the way. There he is, finally. Holy shit. Half an hour. Not bad, guys. Cameron. He's not going to respond. So half an hour. But that doesn't account for that one. And it doesn't account for that one. He doesn't want to have a conversation with me. He could have a conversation with me and I would stop recording this. But he knows, I'm audit the audit, man. Just audit the audit. And Cameron Macinas took off with his little penis. Bye. Have a nice night. For what it's worth, I know this kid's gonna wind up listening or watching this and listening to it. I don't want that dude to get shot by some fucking lunatic. I just want him to fucking wise up and do his job correctly. Because as far as I'm concerned, he can just show up, ignore evidence, and then, he gets a paycheck for that.
Yep.
So, anyway, as far as last night, just to kind of localize the whole situation, I was in the middle of the road, and then Cameron Macinas pulls into the median, and he rolls his window down, and I recognize him when I say Cameron Macinas, and he's like, what are you trying to get hit? I'm like, no, I was crossing the road safely, and you decided to slow down and say something to me. And I know that that's part of your guys' job is to make sure people are safe and everything, and warn them. I understand that, but they slowed down to harass me. There was nothing wrong with what I was doing, and I'm not going to talk about what Deputy Rossi said to me, but they're both basically just giving me a hard time, and I don't appreciate that. It's basically, I don't get this sort of attention from all your troopers. I try to be respectful, and I understand the type of work you guys have to do. I'm not oblivious to that, but I just wanted to say something to you guys about some of the treatment that I get from some of your troopers. It's not the best treatment.
So do you want me to have a conversation with him?
Yes.
Okay. I can most certainly do that,
Okay.
Is there anything else I can do for you?
At this time, no. I kind of would like to do something about filing a freedom of information request for the camera footage from the incident that Cameron Macinas was involved in on June 28, 2022 at my house.
Yep.
I did speak with, I did get the form. I do know how to go about getting the FOIL request and everything.
Yep.
But I'd like to have a conversation with somebody regarding Sergeant Bosco, who I believe is no longer in your office anymore. He's been promoted or something like that. He was on the scene that day, and so was Cameron Macinas. So the only reason that I'm bringing that up is because Cameron. Sorry.
Lieutenant Burgos. He's a lieutenant now.
Okay. Did you say Burgos?
Yes.
I thought his name was Bosco.
No, it's Lieutenant Burgos. He was a sergeant. He was the station commander here at Clifton Park. I'm now the station commander.
Oh, okay.
So he's a lieutenant now.
Oh, okay. So I've been like misreferencing him for a while. Yeah, sometimes I do that. I think that you guys have one name, but it's not. But yeah, I wound up speaking with Trooper Roof back in June. He gave me the form that I needed to fill out, and he and I had a productive conversation, and not unlike the one I'm having with you right now. But anyway, Sergeant Burgos was at the Clifton Park Market 32 back in September 12th, 2022. Sergeant Bosco? That's your name? Sergeant Bosco? You were involved in the illegal arrest on June 28, 2022?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember.
So I tried to hand you evidence of my mother lying to Sarah
Did you get a
Caruso.
lawyer?
Well, that's irrelevant.
Okay, well,
You guys arrested me as soon as I told you about that, right?
Seek a civil suit.
You
have every right to
and
sue the state police.
what's Trooper Macinas' first name?
I don't remember.
No, that's Robert Macinas' son. So, okay. Thank you. Appreciate it. And then I asked for Cameron Macinas' name because I didn't know his name at that point in time. I had this on video, asking him for that officer's name, and he said he remembered the incident, but he didn't recall the officer's name. And in the video footage, it's pretty apparent that he's lying to me.
Okay.
So,
you have the paperwork to foil that. You have to have with division headquarters.
Sure. No,
at the address that's listed on the form.
My main concern in filing the FOIL request is that I'm going to get a copy that is censored and redacted and missing context, which would defeat the purpose of submitting the request. I transcribed the June 28, 2022 audio recording of my mother and I and handed a paper copy of it to Public Defender Michael DePresso days after I saw Sergeant Burgos at Price Chopper Market 32. Right. When Michael DePresso saw that I had evidence to prove my innocence, he began to work very hard to avoid having to read it. Then, Town of Half Moon Justice Joseph Federa had a secret appearance with him and said that I was supposed to be at the secret court appearance, which I was never notified of. Then Michael DePresso later said, "Now look, I'm actually trying to help the hot blonde prosecutor girl win this case, so fuck you, dude. In order to appease the hot blonde prosecutor girl, I had to deceive you, and so did the judge. By the way, don't you ever call Catherine Sohusky on her personal cell phone ever again. And don't you ever try to charm your way into the hot blonde prosecutor girl's pants. That's despicable, Michael Cook." No, he didn't actually say all that. I was basically taking all the things that he did say or do out of context and sort of, summing up what he wound up doing, right? Then the judge ordered me to go to Saratoga County Mental Health for a 7:30 hearing. When he did, the judge wrote the wrong completion date on the wrong form. And then conflict defender George Conway indicated that it had the wrong completion date on it. And then Joe Federa was like, my bad. And then Joe used the whiteout to cover the next appearance date, which he wrote on it. And then wrote a date which was 7 days later. A bunch of other stuff happened that night, but I'm not going to talk about all that. Then I went to Saratoga County Mental Health, submitted the form to the receptionist, and they said, we'll be in touch. Then they said that Joe Federa filled out the wrong form, and they were waiting to hear back from the court to fax back the correct form. And they didn't do that in a very timely manner. Then I called Saratoga County Mental Health a few days later to determine when the 7:30 hearing would be, The woman said that the court or my lawyer would be in touch with me to let me know when the meeting was arranged. Then, that's not what happened at all, because I called the public defender's office, left a voicemail on George Conway's machine, and maybe he didn't get it, who knows. Then, even later than that, I called George Conway on February 10th, 2023, and he's like, you missed your hearing. And then I said, well, nobody notified me when the hearing would be. And then he said, I emailed it to you. And then I checked my email, saw that I never received the email, and he said, maybe the system kicked it back. And then he said, look, we can arrange for another hearing. And I was like, okay. And then I was told the hearing would be on February 23rd, 2023 at 1 p.m. And I was like, okay. Then I went. When I got into the room with Dr. Gerbic and Dr. Glossman, I told them about my company, Securities Plus, LLC, right? And that I'm a security engineer, and that I record people without telling them, right, that I'm recording them. Then they later asked me specifically if I recorded my conversation with them, and that is when I realized I messed up. Because a lot of people are lying sacks of shit and they don't do their job correctly. And thus I have multiple videos of my Word document editor with extra lines and pixels in it. So what I mean is, like, you see this line right here? Well, in my Word editor, what'll occasionally happen is someone, from like Microsoft or whatever, they'll add a line of pixels to every single character on that particular line, and it makes it look slightly taller than the rest of the lines. These are things that could be heard in the audio recording of me having an argument with my mother, but that's being written off and ignored because some people think that I'm stupid when it's just them, as well as other shit. They kept it quiet and silent and to themselves that they thought that shit was delusional. I also told them about the First and Second Amendment of the Constitution, and they apparently felt within 10 minutes of meeting me that I must have some advanced form of schizophrenia that would require at least 2 or 3 weeks of follow-up visits to correctly diagnose, right? So they met with me for 10 minutes and then decided to expedite 2 to 3 weeks worth of follow-up visits to write a letter to Joe Federa that I was incompetent to stand trial, right? But also they discounted the evaluation that I received from their peer, Dr. Samuel Bastian. Dude gave me a full 3-hour evaluation back in September of 2021 for Paul Pelagali. Want to know how different the evaluations were from each other? Well, the one that Joe Federa sent me to lasted about 10 minutes. The one that Paul Pelagali sent me to lasted about 3 hours. 10 minutes of jumping to hasty conclusions without ever asking me for evidence or the audio recording versus about 3 hours of a man asking me about my entire life story and then sending it to a place to be studied for about 3 weeks. I had to fill out a multiple choice questionnaire or whatever, right? Samuel Bastian is like 10 times the doctor that either one of these fucking idiots, these two, right? 10 times the doctor that they are. All because Dr. Bastian took his time, right? Right. And then, it seems to me that 4 fuckfaces named Joe Federa, Michael DePresso, Dr. Gerbic, and Dr. Glossman have a way of circumventing the audio recording of me and my mother having the argument on June 28, 2022 from being used in my defense. What makes them look even more stupid than they already appear to be is the fact that Joe Federa sent me to CDPC, Capital District Psychiatric Center, for a 72-hour observation period, and after 4 hours of being there, the doctors at CDPC were already mostly thinking about discharging me. Then, I was discharged the following afternoon, meaning I was held there for less than 24 hours. Dr. Groden and Dr. Berger did what they did to consider me incompetent to stand trial to prevent the audio recording from being used in my defense. Sure. No, I understand that. I just want to make it apparent that there's a track record here of cops kind of not fulfilling their expected duties and whatnot, and so that's the reason for my call today. Just because I'm calling in today, it doesn't mean it's the first time.
No, I've had conversations with you before, Mike.
Oh, okay. Oh, what's your name? Teets, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I've had conversations with you before, and you've always been cordial with me.
Okay. Are you the guy that gave me a transport the other, like a couple months ago?
No.
Okay.
We haven't had a conversation in a while,
Okay.
but I definitely we've talked before.
Okay. What are the good talks?
Yes. Yeah. They've been fine. Like I said, you've always been cordial with me. We've never had an issue.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for your time, and I appreciate it.
I will have a conversation with Cameron, and like I said, the Sergeant Burgos has been promoted. I can have a conversation with him, but he's in a completely different position, and he's not in a position where he would ever interact with you again.
Yeah, that's fine. He's probably an investigator or something, right? Or whatever.
Yeah. So, all right, Mike.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time.
You have a good holiday. Take care.
You as well. Take care.